This is how we play.
I mean, you gotta be barbarian. So, if we look at the well, you're not a swashbuckler. Well, actually, you could be. You could be a contender. It's about using athletics, and you were a competitor. You're not. You could be a brute rogue, but I don't know about that. Somebody else was the one that tried to get flanking, right? Not you.
I did one.
Brutal scoundrel, bonus to damage of your sneak feature equal to strength modifier, which for you would double them. So that's something we might think about. A lot of those features are going to be wasted on you, though. But let's see, what does a contender get you? View of combat is the apotheosis of athletic training and competition. Using your own physical training, conditioning and training regiment you strive to use. Your superiority to impress your comrades. Meanwhile, you control the vicinity with carefully executed exploits. Conditioning is the key, and the only way to test one's condition is the fires of combat. You move like no other, confusing opponents. When they inevitably fumble in response to your feats of prowess, you punish them. Probably not using the tricky stuff. Provoke, that's funny. Quick jab, light weapon, weapon with the offhand property. Claws would definitely count for offhand. I mean, they are your offhand. They're literally the offhand itself. Contender strike, weapon attack, but your claws count as weapons. Desperate measure. First time you roll a critical failure on a skill check in combat, you reroll.
Contender, remember?
Contender is a swashbuckler.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. This seems really interesting. I don't know if it's really, because you'd give up half of this stuff basically for barbarian. Anyway, but
you should move this to a wiki.
I've been sort of working on something like that for a while. I gave up for a time and lost access to one of them because nobody was playing. But I've been meaning to set it up on my own website as a wiki for a while now. I need a staff. I got too much work to do. Let's see, would you already have just group endurance and access? Gives you a lot of, well, you're probably not going to take, well, you get 3 of the starting feats, so probably just the armor, I imagine, if you did it. Wait, this is Warlord, Lampe. Warlords aren't swashbucklers.
Wait, where is... Okay, the features, like, past the...
Yeah. 2 weapon proficiencies, which are probably not... So, weapon proficiency, which would be simple weapons, and armor proficiency, which would give you crossbows, for example, so that you'd have a ranged weapon.
Ooh, yeah, I'm not really a ranged weapon.
Well, what the hell else would you do with them? You're not taking them for longswords for sure.
No, I mean, can I get a longsword?
It depends on how we would do this, but yeah.
Big ass axe.
I think the technical term is fuck off. Big fuck off axe. Combat focus. Big fuck off
axe or sword or hammer. What I need to do to get that?
Combat focus, style, and focus feature of your choice. And what's the one that you would pick for this one? I think it's tricky. I don't know if you're going to do that. First time you move into or out of a threatened space, Without being hit by an attack, you attempt to feint on that enemy as a free action.
Yeah, I would.
When you shift, you do not take a move action this turn. You may shift an additional number of spaces equal to... So when you did that one thing where you shift a square to get around that guy, you'd shift Dex mod, which is nothing.
Yeah,
One.
Nothing.
You'd move 2 instead of 1. I don't know how impressive that is.
Yeah.
Maybe this isn't the way to go then.
I mean, I guess when I hit a daze...
Hit a what?
Or when I critically hit the target's daze until they make a save, that's more what I would... I mean, I just charge in and swing a big weapon at them. Once I have a big weapon. So you hit them so hard, I forget what...
So I don't think this is the one. Because your hybrid option would make you need to choose those. So we might go to fighter instead after all.
Fighter or barbarian?
Well, your barbarian is locked in, but you're hybrid, so you got to mix it with something.
Oh. So how does the hybriding work? Do I pick divide what I get picked from each one?
Yeah, you pick a subtype from each one, and then we make a custom class out of it.
Okay.
So for fighter, that's fighting style and fighter training, which is 2 feats of your choice, and your fighter subtype.
Is this great weapon fighter?
If you do great weapon fighter, then you're doing something like planning to get weapon specialization teeth or something, which we could do.
I'm not. I mean, once I have money for a 2-handed weapon, I'm gonna be using that now.
Yeah, unless you're disarmed or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't have any other weapon.
Yeah.
So it's hard to play up a weapon character when you don't have a weapon in the beginning.
Exactly. A great weapon is for choosing a certain kind of weapon, a type of weapon that you specialize in.
Oh, okay.
Guardian is like shield, sword and board. Tempest is 2 weapons.
Like dual wielding?
Yeah, dual wielding. Brawler. Brave is usually light infantry, light cavalry type stuff. But there's some like throwing people around things.
People around sounds fun.
And then brawler is you use your open hands to punch and grab and kick and stuff.
Brawler doesn't sound terrible. Like this great weapon. Doing more of my
All right.
style.
So if you go great weapon, what type of weapon is this character specializing in?
That is a good question.
Light blades, hammers, heavy blades, spears.
Probably maybe like a heavy axe.
You can specialize in axes.
Yeah.
Pretty sure.
I think
yeah,
a vicious chopping.
The axe.
Because a sword to me feels more likely to have some pizzazz in your movement. Where axe or hammer is you just swing it really hard at them.
Swords are also split into 2 groups, which are like the Dexy, Dancy one, which is light, and the heavy blades. Whereas axes run the gamut. So you have some axes that are light and some that are heavy.
Yeah, it's some kind of heavy axe. Large battle axe or something like that. I'm not too familiar with the D&D.
Alright, so axes gets you more flexibility for sure. So we're just going to bookmark that. We're going to consider that for the very near future. And then we're going to go to Barbarian. The Barbarian, said the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, is small, yellow, and leech-like. And probably the oddest thing in the universe. So, Barbarian is Rage feature of your choice, an Aspect feature of your choice, and or Primal Challenge. You're going to have to drop one of those. Probably the Primal Challenge, because your fighter stuff might get that for you anyway.
Alright.
So we're looking at the primal. No, the rages are all over the place. So are the aspects. The barbarian's a little more open field than just picking a subtype, because there's a lot of other things that can happen. But there's like the basic idea of the barbarians is the berserker is mostly about getting extra attacks or dealing extra damage. The eruption barbarian does
everything but ice, so I'm not excited about
now that you mention it, yes, everything but ice. It's fire and lightning and the Paleestes is a wrestler.
That's heavy wisdom-based stuff and unorthodox. I'm not unorthodox. I swing my weapon at their face. Pretty orthodox fighting. Thane comes in with leaders and cunning and guile and stuff like that. I'm not a fan of that. The brutality is nice.
The brutality is nice.
Yeah, the brutality is the character. When it just says your combination appeal draws allies to you, I like that. The fear, but the yeah, so that was not bad.
You are supposed to pick a subtype on principle, but there's a bunch of shit down here in the universal stuff that you might be picking from as well, I think. We are not sure you're getting Primal Challenge, but if you were, would you prefer Thundermark, Thane's Mark, or Wildmark?
Wildmark sounds nice. What's the difference?
Wildmark is an immediate interrupt that happens when an ally is hit with an attack. You mark the attacker.
Ooh, that sounds fun.
The Thanes...
Just like, you hurt my ally, I will get you next.
Yeah, it happens automatically when they hit them.
What's wild? What does marking then do, though?
Marking is -2 to attacks that don't include you as the target.
Ooh, I do like that. Okay.
Thane's Mark is when you hit with an attack. Now remember, you might not take this. Because
when you hit an enemy attack, the enemy is marked by you. Oh. So when I hit, they're marked.
Yes.
Okay.
But you have to hit them. And then
the
the last one is... what is the last one? I scrolled up assuming I would see it. I did not. Maybe it's a green? I don't know. I find a lot of their attacks distracting because they're that sort of thing. That's kind of the idea. Like, you're a defender because you're impossible to ignore on the battlefield because you're so distracting. It works too well. It's even got me distracted. There's a Thunder Mark. Yeah, at will, minor. You mark all adjacent enemies that can hear you.
Man, Lampedition, this is... I have way too much...
Way too much what?
Way too much stuff.
Yeah. This is Lampedition. It gets complicated at level 1. So, triggered when... Yeah, so those... One of them doesn't require a subtype. So...
Yeah. Because the Thunder Mark I like, but the rest of the Thunder... I don't think feels good.
Mm-hmm.
If I was to take something elemental, I would want it to be ice-oriented, which just is not available for Barbarian. That's fun.
Do you want to just go with Berserker as the subtype? Since you have to pick one arbitrarily as a hybrid character?
Yeah, let's do that.
Alright, remember that you're going to be... It's the general stuff, and it sounds like you're mostly going to want the general stuff, preferably anyway. But these are the non-general things you'll have to choose from Barbarian then. So in here in your class, we're going to put hybrid.
Oh, I came in. Cool. I can go talk at Rad now.
Yes. That was weird. So Berserker and Great Weapon.
Yeah.
Okay. Then we're gonna find hybrid. And I need water, or I will die. It has a section, but I don't see it as a section header, which makes me nervous. There it is. Alright, this is gonna be intimidating just for a second, but it's not real.
Okay.
It's also bad because it fucked up the line spacing again. I need a staff. I require income. Okay, so hybrid class.
Sometime I should get my Pathfinder 2nd edition book to you because its organization system is amazing.
Really?
Building, yeah.
I just like flipped through it once, and I didn't really stop to pay too much attention. But I have been interested in trying out Pathfinder 2 because it's the way that they deal with their action economy interests me.
Yeah, I love the new action economy, but also just players.
Yeah, I'll be back in 1 second.
It really walks you through all your choices.
Yeah, that's my action economy I love, but there's a lot to do. Not even just a lot to remember. There's a lot to do. Like, there's 3 fucking things you do on every turn. And a lot of people, you know, they aren't familiar with having to live that way. Okay.
And I think first edition Pathfinder had a real problem with action economy. Never a turn could take it. They could really just abuse the crap out of it. Where 17 things in it. So just you get 3 things.
5th edition.
3 things off 3.
Yeah, 5th edition's like that too. Like 5th edition, I would think that they'd have known better after all these years, but they went back to basically 2nd edition as far as that stuff goes. And so it's like, if the fighter swings his sword and misses, his turn is over. But the summoner has like 3 minions that each have their own turns. Yep. And is casting a spell on their turn, and gets to move before they cast the spell. The fighter, who's already in melee, swings his sword.
Yeah, I stopped taking levels in Monk in Pathfinder because I was rolled so many attacks, tired of it.
Just don't want any more attacks.
Yeah, I was just like, God, I have to roll 9 die, ask them if they take electric damage, fire damage, and then like...
Yeah. So, you get to heighten either your base attack bonus or hit points. Do you want full base attack or more hit points?
Oh, I want full base attack.
All right. Okay, and you have... What the hell was that? Heightened there too. I had somebody fight with me over whether or not there too was a word. I was like, if spell check believes that there too is a word and I believe that there too is a word, that's good enough for me. Buy a dictionary. He's a real asshole about it. Defenses +1 to up to 2. It's fortitude. The answer is fortitude. Because they both just have a +2 to fortitude. There's no way out of it.
Yeah. That makes sense.
We'll just punch that up there. You collect 3 starting feats from each. Spell training counts as 2. Well, I don't see this character taking a spell.
No.
Forego 2... You can forego 2 armor or weapon proficiencies for a bonus feat 1 time. If you feel the need to do that.
Yeah, no thank you. I think I'll take it.
Fighter. So, you get to pick 3 choices from 2 weapon proficiency and 3 armor proficiency.
Okay, well, so I want a weapon proficiency in my axe blue.
So your first weapon proficiency is simple. And your 3 martial... You get your choice of 3 martial weapons for the second instance of weapon training.
So, axes, hammers, and the...
Well, you pick the individual weapons.
Oh, the individual weapons. Okay.
The other thing will come up in a minute.
Thank you for your time.
Like, comment, subscribe, and share.